So, what's happened?
He was able to squeeze through the window in the bathroom, got out and fallen.
Okay.
So we found him on the 3rd floor in some bushes.
Okay.
So he's limping.
Chris is back in Bondi, and 1-year-old Spidey has been rushed into the clinic by Julia and her dad Roger after a shocking accident.
Apparently Roger was trying to catch Spidey, but Spidey saw a narrow opening in a door, made a run for it, and overbalanced on the windowsill and fell at least 9 metres. For any animal, that's a tough fall.
He's just a little pale on that side. So what I'm doing at the moment is just assessing his vital signs. Okay. His heart rate, it's certainly up there. His breathing rate's very high too. I mean, he's breathing at more than 1 breath a second. It's almost like he's panting.
Spidey's elevated vital signs are serious cause for concern.
What the high heart rate, the high respiratory rate, and the pale gum colour is telling me is that Spidey is certainly in shock right now.
Okay.
Shock can be incredibly dangerous. Essentially, the body overreacts and sends the blood away from the important parts like the lungs, the heart, and the other internal organs to the muscles, expecting that that animal has to make a run for it, when really, it's the worst possible situation. The thing we're fighting at the moment is the fact that when they are in shock, all the blood essentially goes to their muscles, when really the parts of their body that need it are their essential organs like their lungs and heart.
At the Bondi clinic, 1-year-old Spidey is in shock after falling 3 stories from a window ledge. Distressed owner Julia and her father Roger found the injured cat crying for help in the bushes below.
What I might do straight away is just give him something for the shock, just to relax him and also take away some of the pain.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look through all these legs here.
My immediate concerns, given the fact that Spidey has fallen at least 9 metres, is trauma. So either internal injuries or fractures to those legs.
Is that the one?
Yeah, it's certainly sore. His back right, he's really resenting me doing too much to that.
Do you think it's broken?
Look, it's certainly sore, but the only way to know for sure whether there is a fracture is with an X-ray.
But suddenly, Roger spots a distressing problem.
It's a little bit of blood.
Let's have a look here. Of all the places where he's got blood,
Yeah, I know.
it's where a man doesn't want to have any sort of pain whatsoever. He almost looks like he has a little abrasion on the skin just around that area.
I'm thinking, because it was a fairly twiggy sort of bush.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario here, if a branch has penetrated into Spidey's abdominal cavity, it could have ruptured a blood vessel or punctured an important organ like the liver or the kidney. If that has happened, he could be bleeding internally. I think if we x-ray just this back half of his body,
Yeah, I think so.
that way we'll know for sure. Okay, let's do that now.
If Spidey has suffered some sort of internal injury that's now bleeding into his abdominal cavity, then the clock is ticking. The simple fact is that a fracture won't kill Spidey, but internal bleeding might.
Roger and his anxious daughter Julia are praying for good news.
X-ray!
What I'm looking for is any loss of definition of these organs here. If I can't see them clearly, then it means there's fluid wrapped around those organs, which would be blood. In this case though, I can see a liver, I can see a kidney, I can see intestines, even a bladder here. So I can quite confidently say there's no bleeding happening around those organs. It's good news. I mean, even his spine here is looking in alignment. No fractures through these bones here. This little guy somehow managed to find a way to land, and land well. The bush may very well have saved his life. So coming through here, I think we've been a little bit harsh on Spidey. He may actually be a Spider-Man.
Oh, so right.
There's no fractures
No
at all.
fracture. And no break.
No.
Little man.
Well done.
Well done.
So he is a lucky cat.
He's incredibly lucky. All right, so there's one more thing we need to do, just to
clean him up before he goes home.
Oh, right, okay.
And then you'll be on your way.
I think it's just amazing that he was so daring in the first place, falling 3 floors, and you would think, you know, any normal cat might have had, you know, at least a sprain, at least something to show for it. But no, Spidey Man, he definitely survived.
So guys, get you to hold him up there. Turns out the source of this blood on his belly isn't internal, it's external. It's coming from his penis. Of all places you get spiked by a tree, in Spidey's case, it was that place that is the most sensitive of all. If this is the worst thing that happens, it's not all bad, is it? Even though Spidey's a cat, the basic principles of first aid still apply. If you have swelling and inflammation, it's important to bring that down with something cold. Unfortunately for Spidey, it must feel like the worst possible treatment right now. Yeah, it's all in working order.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
That's a relief.
Fortunately for Spidey, the indignity is finally over and he can go home.
He will not be going outside. I'm going to be watching him like a hawk from now on to make sure that he is very much safe.
So I'm very happy for you guys that it's all worked out okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay, no problem at all. All right. Given the events of today, it's safe to say that Spidey won't be straying too far away from Julia. She's going to have this spider cat locked in her web for a long time to come, and he won't be going near any open windows.
You playful boy. Where's the Spidey? Where's the Spidey?
As for Spidey, the naughty cat which jumped from a 3rd-storey window, it seems he's finally learnt his lesson.
Spidey has been staying away from windows actually a fair bit lately. He's been hiding under a lot of furniture every time I open a window or open a door. So obviously he doesn't really want to have a repeat of last time.
Now can we get you running so we can show everyone how good your legs are?
Very lucky, definitely. Spidey might have lost one of his 9 lives, but he definitely pulled through and he's better than ever.
Police dog Doc is lucky to be alive after recently falling from a 3-storey building.
Yeah, good luck. Come on.
The German Shepherd is at the Bondi Referral Hospital sash because his death-defying fall has caused serious damage to his right leg.
We got him emergency help where they casted it and did all that for a couple of weeks, but it's got to a point now where it hasn't completely healed. It's so there's still some healing there to go, and we're a bit worried that there might be something else going on.
G'day. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Andrew.
Chris.
Hello, Chris. Who's this?
This is Doc.
Doc. Hey, Doc. Hey, you big fella. It's very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, you've been doing high-rise jumping. Given what we know's happened to Doc, i.e. he's gone for a high dive and landed 3 stories down, I'm really worried that he's trashed the supporting ligaments of his wrist joint.
Attaboy.
You know, he's sideways he seems okay, but he really just doesn't like you doing that. But yes, you're a good boy, hey? Yes, this is your sore one, I know. Yeah. No, look, it's really, it's quite obvious that he doesn't like me sort of trying to extend his wrist. And that's pretty typical for dogs that have done that sort of a high dive thing because they land and they damage those ligaments. So I think that's what's going on. And I guess the other thing is the one leg you can get about that far, the other leg that's damaged, we're sort of pushing it even further, and that sort of suggests to me that he's ruptured those ligaments. So if we do nothing, he'll always be lame, and he'll only get worse and worse and worse until it's totally collapsed on him. So what we've got to do is we've got to prove whether I'm right or wrong, and so to do that I think we need to get him anaesthetised and get some x-rays.
That's it.
If Doc's leg can't be repaired, his career in the police force is likely to come to an end.
The bond between a police dog and its handler it's very important for a successful team. You know, it's irreplaceable, and you know, you can't really describe it. It's very, very important, and it's something that the handler treasures.
There's a go. Good boy.
At Sash, police dog Doc has badly injured his right leg after falling from a 3-storey building.
You're not going to catch any bad guys looking like that.
Specialist surgeon Andrew Marchevsky thinks the horrific fall may have caused serious ligament damage.
What I've actually got to do is get him anaesthetised so he can't feel anything and take some x-rays of that joint whilst I'm really wrenching on it to see if it can bend too far, and then we can figure out what we've got to do to fix him. And pretty much that's straight, I can't. And that's how it should be. There's no bend at all here. And then we can look at this one. We can see how much more that bends. So we look at his x-rays here, that angle is about 25 degrees more movement in there than it should be. To me that says he's ruptured those ligaments.
This diagnosis means Doc's career as a police dog now hangs in the balance.
He'll have to have his joint fused permanently, so it can't move at all, but at least it'll be in the right position for him to walk and run. And I don't know how he's going to go as a police dog.
Andrew now needs to break the news to Doc's best mate and partner, Senior Constable Chris Hill.
He's done enough damage that it's not going to get better. Yep. That's a problem. And I said, now we can talk about what to do. With these cases, generally, we fuse the joint.
Yep.
And that's the only way we'll get it so that it's functional. I guess the question you've got to try and answer, and I can't, it's hard for me to answer, is he going to be a working dog after that?
Yeah.
Chris will need to get approval from the police force before the surgery to fuse Doc's joints can go ahead. Until this decision is made, the hard-working German Shepherd is now officially off duty.
So he won't be 100% and possibly not be able to return to work. It's heartbreaking. A lot of work's gone into him, and he's your mate, so you just want him to be the best that he can be at what he does, so as I do. Come on, buddy. Time to head home.
At Sash, it's a big day for Senior Constable Chris Hill and his faithful partner Doc. After a death-defying 3-storey fall, the German Shepherd has been given the all-clear for surgery to try and repair his severely damaged right leg.
Doc's career is on the line here. He's basically busted all the ligaments in the back of his wrist, and they'll never heal, so we've got to fuse his joint. So unless we get in and do something now, and unless this is successful, he's going to have to be retired as a police dog, and I think that'd almost kill Doc.
I am a bit worried now that he might have to retire at such a young age. He's only 3 years old, so he's still got a lot of work left in him, and we've got quite a good bond now. So to have to retire him and start over would be devastating for both me and him, I suppose, because he enjoys his work. He really does.
So there's nothing subtle, unfortunately, about this surgery. With Doc's surgeries, the major risks, I guess, is that we're trying to fuse a joint that doesn't want to be fused. And so the risk is we'll do all this, come back, and it won't have done what we want it to do. It won't have fused. And that can be really problematic. So we've got to make sure we're really meticulous with what we do. It's not a healthy joint. So basically what I'm going to do here is cut out all the joint capsule, all the joint cartilage, burr it down to bone basically. So we're going to turn this joint into just one single bone. And can we just have the suction on, please? Okay, we're just going to go to this joint here. So we've basically exposed his joint, so I'm looking straight at his joint cartilage. And now I'm going to start burring that out. And once we've got rid of all that, we'll pack it full of bone graft. Then we'll put a big plate across it to keep it nice and stable whilst it's healing. Yeah, so this is the plate that we're going to put on. I'll put a little bend in it like that, so when he runs, his leg won't be totally straight. It'll be sort of kicked up like that a bit, so that'll be a little bit more anatomically normal for him.
Securing the plate in the correct position is crucial. Otherwise, Doc has little hope of returning to the police force.
So we've now got this plate on his leg and across that joint. So now it's stiff, it can't move. But at the moment, the only thing keeping it like that is the plate. Give him 12, 16 weeks, then all that bone graft will have caused that whole area to fuse together, and it'll be like he's got one big long bone there.
After 2 hours on the operating table...
Right, last stitch.
Finally, Doc's surgery comes to an end.
So we've finished him now, he's stiff as a board. We'll just take him into X-ray to see how all the implants look and make sure they're in all the right spots. We'll put a bandage on him and then we'll start waking him up. Looks good so far. I'm really happy with the surgery. The X-rays look great, so everything's gone well. Now we've just got to wait for this whole thing to heal, and then we'll see if we can get him back to doing the stuff he loves doing. All right. Hey, Doc. How you doing? There you go. Was that exciting, mate? Was that exciting? Hey, come on. Just take him for a wander up there. We'll just see what he's doing.
At Sash,
don't you?
it's
You're
hard
gonna pee,
to
aren't you?
believe that police dog Doc recently underwent major leg surgery.
Good boy. Come here. Sit.
Sit, Doc. Sit. Doc, sit.
The German Shepherd ruptured the ligaments in his right leg after a death-defying fall from a 3-storey building.
Doc is running around like a dog who's never had a surgery, he's never had his joints reamed out, he's never had his bones drilled. And he's just building around like the crazy thing that he is.
Before Andrew gives the all clear to go home, he does a final check on the German Shepherd's leg.
There you are.
Hello.
Look at that. You're just a happy dog, aren't you, mate? Really? Doc's an amazingly good patient when you consider how he runs around as a total noodle when he's on the ground. I put him up here on the table and he's just gone, okay, I'm having something done to me, and he's just let me do it, and he's just amazing. There aren't too many dogs that I don't have to sedate to do that sort of a procedure, and he's just lied there and gone, okay. Ah, he's a great dog. I mean, if the police didn't want him, I reckon I'd take him. Hey?
Look at that tail. Yeah.
You need to... Hey, Doc. Hey, Chris is here. He says, what? Who? Doc.
Waiting in reception is Doc's partner and best mate, Senior Constable Chris Hill.
I'm looking forward to seeing him again, of course. You know, we've spent so much time together that you're missing that element of your life when he's gone. Pretty much lost, you know, without your dog.
Come on, Doc. Go. Oh, good boy. Yeah, I know. It's even more exciting.
Hey, mate. How'd you go?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks.
How'd you go? You dropped his leg.
Yeah.
How are you, buddy? Good. How are you?
Good boy. You look at Chris and Doc together and you sort of can tell they're best mates. And you get the impression that Doc will just do anything for Chris. Like he's already leapt over tall buildings and it's ended badly for him. But you can just see if Chris said do it again, he'd do it again. It's an amazing relationship.
So basically the prognosis, will you be right to come back and work again, full duties, you think?
Look, I've never done this surgery on a working police dog. You know, we just got to get him to heal first and then let him go and see what happens. But I think he's got to go. Certainly if we hadn't done this, yeah, no chance, he'd have had to retire him.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good then.
So...
it's a good result.
That's a good result, exactly right. So.
It will be at least 3 months until Andrew can confirm if the surgery has been a success. But for now, Chris is just happy to be taking his best mate home.
He realises that he's not 100%, but it's good that his spirit's still the way it is. I mean, that's him, that's his character, and that's what we love about him. Wait, come on, mate.
Yeah, you might come and and put a hand on her because she's trying to come towards you.
Zoe.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital Sash, 1-year-old Zoe is in agony after a 10-metre dive onto a concrete driveway.
How did it happen? Okay, babe.
She jumped off the second floor balcony.
Okay. You saw her jump?
Yeah, I saw her jump.
Oh, goodness, you poor thing.
I love my heart went from here down to here. And I was too scared to look over the balcony, you know, because I thought I'd see her just laying there, but she wasn't there. And I thought, well, she's got up and walked, you know.
Looking at the way it's hanging there, I'm quite worried that she's got a broken leg. Hey, puppy girl, we'll make you feel better now.
Lisa is taking Zoe out to the treatment room to give her pain relief and to find out just how bad the fracture is.
Oh.
Don't see that.
That's crunchy.
Ow.
The bone shard is actually punctured through the skin, so it's not the kind of fracture we like to deal with because it means that that bone is exposed to infection and bugs stop fractures from healing. And I guess if we don't treat this aggressively, she could lose that leg.
Good girl. I know, it's sore, isn't it?
Zoe has cheated death after an ill-fated leap from a second-storey balcony.
Ready?
X-rays confirm she has smashed her right leg in 4 places.
Oh, that is a mess.
Incredibly, Zoe has escaped any internal injuries.
It's unbelievable. When I look at these images, the only fractures I can find are in her back feet. The rest of her body seems okay. It's just amazing.
Hello, my darling. Mummy's here, darling. Mummy's here.
It's a complicated surgery. All the bones in that foot are broken and it's going to take a long time to repair that. Poor Gwen is absolutely traumatised by what's happened. I mean, she's in more shock than the cat is.
She's my baby. She's my baby. She really is. Mummy's gorgeous girl, isn't she?
She's taken a dive from a balcony. Super cat.
Why did you do that?
And smashed up her foot.
Did you think you had wings?
At Sash, Andrew Marchevsky is ready to start major reconstructive surgery on Zoe's fractured foot.
It's amazing. She fell from about 10 metres and doing a few calculations, that means she hit the ground at about 50 k's an hour. All she's done is broken one foot and got a little crack in the other. I mean, it's an awful injury, but it's amazing that's all she's done. Oh, it's crunchy. I'm just going to try and expose the bone ends.
Andrew will now place pins in both ends of the fractured bone to try to anchor the break together.
The problem here is the bones are so fragile, I can't grasp them with any instruments as such because they'll just end up shattering if I'm not very careful. Potentially we'd be looking at an amputation. All right, that's good. I think the foot already looks a little less swollen. That's nice. Couldn't look any better than that. That's really good.
Right, Zoe, you want to go back to bed now? Yeah, back to bed.
In the short term, we're worried about swelling of those toes, and it's important that we allow some give in the bandage so that they do swell, doesn't cut off the circulation, because that can happen like that.
Now it's a top cage, so don't fall out. No jumping.
What are you doing? I feel a bit funny. Let's go see Mum.
Over at Sash, an anxious Gwen is allowed to see her best friend for the first time since Zoe's major surgery.
Yes, okay, puppy girl. Hey, my puppy girl. Hey, puppy girl.
So, hello, Zoe.
Oh, she got so excited when you were
Mummy's here, darling. I've only had her 12 months, but I feel as though I've had her forever. Just walk in the house and it's just so different, you know.
Gwen is 78 years old and this was a really traumatic experience for her. She keeps reliving that night when she saw her cat just fall off the balcony. I think she's probably suffering from a little bit of post-traumatic stress herself.
She loves her mummy, don't you, darling? She sits on the lounge and we watch TV together. And we watch all the animal shows, don't we? Beautiful girl, soon be home. Soon be home.
Hey, Zoe. Look where we are.
A week after her disastrous balcony dive, Zoe is well enough to return to the scene of the crime.
My goodness.
Hello, Gwen.
Hey, Lisa.
Look who they've got.
You want to get out? What's
Oh, my goodness.
No jumping, no jumping.
It's such a nice feeling to bring Zoe home to Gwen. I mean, the look on her face when she saw her baby come back home was just priceless.
It feels absolutely wonderful. You've been so wonderful. She is my baby. She is so beautiful.
You wait there, Zoe. There is one thing that's going to change in this household, though, and that is the balcony is out of bounds. Zoe has to stay inside, and I think Gwen's going to stick to that. My goodness, that is a serious drop.
It's a miracle. It's honestly, it's a miracle.
I cannot believe that Zoe fell off this balcony and lived.
Well, you can sit there. That doesn't matter. You can sit there. You can sit anywhere you like, darling, but not on the balcony.
What happened? Did she get stepped on or?
No, I know me and my sister were at the shop and then her boyfriend called. Apparently she was on the cat scratch post and she fell over.
Okay, all right. If you just
At
wait
the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Melissa is in shock after 4-week-old kitten Ariel was involved in a freak accident at home.
Little Ariel has fallen off a scratching post, which doesn't sound very high at all, but to a kitten that's only 300 grams, falling from 1/2 metre is enough to cause massive head trauma. She's got soft little bones and I'm really worried that her brain has taken a massive knock. Oh dear, you don't look very good at all, baby. What was her temperature?
34.8.
Okay, she's freezing. Tiny, tiny little veins.
Lisa will now give the kitten IV fluids and use a heat mat to try to raise her temperature.
The problem is, just by looking at her, we can't really tell if it's brain damage or if all of this is just a sign of her being in shock. If she goes home, she won't make it, so she's got to stay in hospital.
It's heartbreaking news for sisters Melissa and Vanessa.
It's too early for me to know if she's going to be able to get better from this, but it's 100% worth giving her a chance. Okay. So sorry, I won't be long. She just needs a lot of TLC right now, and I'm hoping that we can get her through this, but she's so small that it's possible she's not going to make it. Oh, baby.
At SASH, Lisa suspects 4-week-old Ariel may have suffered brain damage after falling from a scratching post.
She's just out here.
After hours of waiting, distressed sisters Melissa and Vanessa are finally able to see their fragile kitten.
You can give her a cuddle, it's okay. Melissa's only had little Ariel and her brother for 3 days. They got them as rescue kittens and they've fallen in love with them only after such a short time. And for something like this to happen, it's really distressing for them. They don't even know if Ariel's going to make it, and they've still got the little brother at home who's pining for his big sister. It's a lot to take in.
Thank you.
That's all right. We'll look after her and we'll call you if we have any issues. Okay, so just got to try and think positive, but you know, there's obviously no guarantees. Okay. She's still got signs of head trauma. There's no way of knowing whether she'll ever recover from this.
Oh, baby. Hey, you're so tiny.
24 hours after being rushed into the SASH emergency room, tiny Ariel is still unresponsive after falling from a scratching post.
With such a little kitten, it's essential that they start eating as soon as possible. So it would be a really big test if she reacts to food, if she's eating, if she's interested in it. It's a test of her strength and her mental function as well.
The bowl is bigger than you, but is that something you would be interested in?
This little girl's been through a lot. She's had a big knock to the head. We're all working really, really hard to get her through this. You're not quite with us, are you? She still could deteriorate and we just have to keep a really close eye on her for the next 24 hours. Hello. Oh, you are so much better.
At Sash, it's been just 48 hours since Ariel took a dangerous dive from a scratching post.
If she eats really well and she eats consistently, she's on the road to going home. Is that yummy? Oh, that's a really good sign, baby girl. I feel so relieved now that she's responding well, so I'm not so worried about brain injury anymore, which is great.
It's not only Melissa and Vanessa who are excited about being reunited with Ariel.
This is Oliver. He's Ariel's brother. They were abandoned together.
She's so much better than she was. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
It will take her a few days to bounce back. The girls, they are just over the moon. I don't even think they can believe that she's still alive. Good luck. You guys will be fine. They're in very lucky hands.